What is up guys, welcome back to more games, and today we're going to be talking about my first impressions of Islands of Nyne. Now if you don't know what Islands of Nyne is, it is an up and coming battle royale style game, and it's currently in closed alpha. Now that means that I can't actually review the game, but I can give my first impressions of the game. So before I start, I just want to point out this is in closed alpha. What I'm going to be showing you today is definitely not the final product of the game. Things are going to change, they are going to improve, so don't take what I say in today's video as final. And like I said, stuff is definitely going to change. So Islands of Nyne is fantastic. I'm just going to say that off the bat. I got given my key yesterday, got into some games this morning, and boy did I have some fun. Now this game is in more of the arcadey style of battle royales, and it's much like H1Z1 rather than Player Unknown in the way that it plays and looks and feels. Now Player Unknown Battlegrounds is more of a realistic style, and H1Z1 is more of the arcadey style. So if you like H1Z1, then you're definitely going to like the feel of this game. And of course it is set in a more futuristic, a sci-fi kind of theme than H1Z1 and Player Unknown's is. So if you like that kind of sci-fi and the arcadey style, you're definitely gonna enjoy this game. So one thing that all battle royales so far have had in common is the kind of waiting area while waiting for a game. Now in H1Z1, of course, there's no guns, you can't shoot anyone, you can punch people and you can drive vehicles, that's about it. Player Unknown gives you the option to pick up a gun and shoot people, but no deaths can occur. Whereas in this game, there is kind of a free-for-all kind of gun gamey style mode that you get thrown into before a match starts. So while people are piling into the waiting room, you get given a gun straight off the bat and you can kill people. You don't gain XP, you don't get anything for doing this. It's just a fun way of wasting a few minutes while waiting for the server to fill up and before the game starts. Now what actually happens is every few kills that you get, you will be given another gun, which means that you can kind of switch out your guns every couple of kills, and you can learn and you can get used to the feel of each of these guns, because these are the guns that you're going to find and you're going to be able to pick up while playing the actual game. So it's almost as if it's a free tutorial, because you are going to spend a lot of time in these menus. Like any other battle royale game, you know how long you're going to end up spending in these kind of waiting rooms, especially if you're not very good at the game. So having this kind of mode that you get thrown into, you get to shoot people, you get to kill people, is really fun. It's really a great way of wasting that time, and it makes it go a lot faster. And so one thing I've noticed with this game, of course, it is more of an arcadey style like I mentioned before. The controls are really great, they're nice and smooth. Nothing really stands out to me as clunky, especially the guns. The guns are really nice. You can put scopes on them, which is really nice. You can switch out scopes really quickly through the menus if you have a spare scope, or you want to switch out maybe a red dot for a sniper scope or whatever. You can do that really quickly, and everything happens really fast. It's nice and smooth and nothing clunky happens. So that's really nice to see straight away from this alpha. So the guns themselves, I don't really think they're that futuristic looking. This game, of course, is set in the future, and I was kind of expecting the guns to be a little bit more futuristic. Maybe there was going to be kind of laser weapons and stuff like that. The guns themselves do just look like modern day weapons. They all shoot bullets. I haven't seen any that shoot any kind of lasers or plasma or anything like that, so maybe that's to come in the future. Maybe they're just sticking to lead bullets, but other than that, they seem to work fantastic. I wouldn't say the balancing was great currently. I think there's a lot to do with the balancing on the weapons, and maybe the helmets and some of the grenades as well need a little bit of balancing work. But like I said, this is alpha stage. You can't really expect everything to be perfect currently. And I would say the way that it is right now is pretty good. It's not obviously bad. Yeah, it seems to be good, and the way the guns feel while holding them, while shooting them, feels pretty good as well. One thing I will mention is the sound design is definitely not perfect. I have had it where people have crept up on me behind me and I've not heard them whatsoever while wearing a headset, and then they've just shot me and ran off, and I can see them run off into the distance on their merry way, and I'm just like, Where did you come from? I did not hear you at all. But that seems to be a recurring feature of many of these styles of games. The sound design sometimes needs a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of updating, and that's definitely something that Islands of Nyne needs to get correct, because these styles of games, definitely you need to be able to hear footsteps, and you need to be able to hear people when they're in your building or running up behind you. So that's definitely something that I hope they will get fixed fairly soon, or get done by the next alpha or open alpha or closed alpha, whatever it happens to be. So yeah, sound design needs to be tweaked a little tiny bit. Other than that, the game is really good. I would say the map is maybe a little bit too small, at least for my liking, but I will say this game only has a maximum of 50 players. From what I've seen so far, the max amount of players per game is 50. The maps are a little bit smaller than you would find in H1Z1 or PlayerUnknown. I would probably say it's maybe a third of the size. So it is definitely a lot smaller than those two maps from the other two games, but you have a lot less people in the game. So the games do last a lot less. I would say an average game in Islands of Nyne is about 15 minutes, maybe 20 pushing it, depending on how long the last fight actually lasts. But you're probably looking at about 15-20 minutes instead of, 30-40 plus with the other two games. So it is definitely quicker. It's a lot more fast paced. There's less people in a map. The map itself is a lot smaller. But I've only played on one of the maps, and I believe this game has multiple maps, or they're planning to have multiple maps upon release. So all of that I've just said about 50 people max and small maps may change by the next alpha or the next beta or whatever it happens to be. So all of this stuff can change, but currently small maps, maximum of 50 people in a game. So that is pretty much it, guys. That is my first impressions. I would say this game currently, as it stands in its closed alpha stage, it is really fun. It is really, really fun. Matchmaking or sitting in a lobby waiting for the game to start is really fun. The actual game itself, when you drop in, is really, really fun. The guns themselves are fantastic. The balancing needs a little bit of work. The graphics need a little bit of work. There's a few moments where you'll get artifacting on your screen, or a few pop-ins or pop-outs of textures that shouldn't be there. There's a few little problems with the red dot scope, like kind of tweaking out a little bit, dancing on your screen. But yeah, the actual game mode itself is really great. The futuristic style along with the arcadiness of the game really, really works, and they fit together really well. This game is first person only, by the way, guys. There is no third person in this at all, so you can't view your character from behind. It's always in first person, so it's definitely got something going for it with the whole arcadey sci-fi first person mode when it comes to a battle royale game. It's very unique, and it's really, really fun. It's really fun, and I'm actually going to go back to playing it right now. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Hopefully you've taken something from this video, my first impressions. Maybe this is the first time you've heard about this game, and now you're going to follow it until it's released. One thing I will say is, don't take anything I've said today as final. This game can definitely change, can definitely improve before it releases, and I will be doing more of these update videos as content gets released or updated or patch notes or whatever happens with the game until its release. I will keep doing these updates and impression videos as that happens, so you guys can stay tuned and find out what's changed and what I think's got better or what's got worse until the game finally releases. So that is it, guys. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you have, remember to hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe, and of course I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Please cease all hostile engagement and prepare for Battle Royale match transport in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The safe zone has been marked. Please proceed to the designated area on your map. to the dome, player.